Oh. Not many people would get that.
Yeah, those guys are cool. We're in Monterey. We made it.
Not bad getting here.
Not bad.
It was, so we got here at 10:30. We left at 10:30. It's an 36-hour motor sale, right? We left.
Yeah, I think that's right.
2 days ago at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know. I could look up the
today?
exact time.
It was, yeah.
It was about that. Yeah, it was long. So that was our second passage.
Hey, stop it.
Yeah, previously we went from San Diego to Ventura, and then Ventura to Santa Barbara, and then Santa Barbara to Monterey. Mm-hmm. And so the Ventura to Santa Barbara was pretty easy. This one was a stretch, but we learned a lot on the Ventura one, where we didn't have any schedule at all, and we basically went each shift until we were tired, and that was terrible.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Of all the advice that we've been given, I don't know why we ignored that.
Yeah,
and thought we could power through.
Yeah, everybody was saying, just keep a strict schedule, and we're like, whatever. But yeah, this worked out much better. 2 hours on each means like a half-hour transition as we're dealing with things we have to do.
Yeah.
And so 90 minutes of shut-eye, which meant probably 10 minutes of actual sleep for me.
No, I could sleep.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it just takes time to get hand off the helm. And we've been recording every hour different data.
Logbook.
Yeah, and I felt that to be pretty helpful.
Yeah,
to spot trends.
Yeah, I like that. Actually forcing us to pay attention to engine temperature, oil pressure, look in the bilge, check the fuel. We had some anxiety about fuel getting up here, but turned out that we did pretty well. We were motor sailing the whole way, and we did over 6 knots the whole way almost. Sometimes as much as 7.2.
Yeah, the tank is at 3/8 right now.
Yeah, so we used just a little over half a tank from Santa Barbara to here, which is
5/8. Yeah.
5/8. Yeah. Okay. So we have a 75-gallon tank. So I'm not going to do that math in my head right now, but it's not bad. The range is good, and it's well within the safety zone for a trip like this. So I wouldn't have wanted to go all the way to San Francisco on that, though. I think a fuel stop here was required.
I think so too. We don't know how accurate that sensor is.
That's true. We were thinking, the tank might be like a V, and it goes down slowly at the top because it's more capacity, but we don't know. We're still learning. We'll know for sure when we fill up today just how much fuel we use, and then we'll get our actual gallons per hour.
Right.
One thing I did do that, in retrospect, I think I shouldn't have, was I had been reading that you need to rev up the engine to burn off carbon if you have been running at low RPM for too long. And we've been running at 2,200 RPM for, like 32 hours straight. And my understanding is that you need to basically blow out the carbon out of the system, and by running it up to like 2,800 RPMs for 15, 20 minutes. And I started to do that, and the temperature got too high too fast, and that got me concerned. So I immediately went back down to our 2,200, and it took about 10 minutes for it to get back down to the normal temperature. And the oil pressure never went back up to the 58 that it had been at. It stayed at around 50 for the remainder.
Did it?
That's what I think. The gauge is really hard to get exact numbers. It's very analog. Anyway, that's I guess what happens when the oil gets hot and it just has less pressure. Thing is, though, in retrospect, coming in after a long trip, it's not really the time to stress the system. I feel kind of dumb now, even thinking about doing that.
I need to research that more.
Yeah, but what we did learn, though, in the process is that you know, if we, I'm kind of glad we did it actually, because I'd always been under the assumption that if we needed to, we could crank the engine up to, you know, like 2,800 or even 3,000 RPM should the need arise for whatever reason. And because the temperature went up so high, I now know that we're going to have to find a different solution for whatever scenario comes up than pushing the engine hard, because basically I don't want to break the engine in the worst scenario like that. I'd rather be gentle and find an alternative solution, whatever that might be, than risk having the engine go out on us at the worst moment. So I think that's kind of useful info to have learned there. But you know, when we get back home, one of the first mechanical things we'll be doing is inspecting the water coolant system with the strainer and the pipes. It could be that there's some stuff growing in the pipes slowing down the flow, or maybe the strainer is not as clean as it should be.
We can look at the strainer.
Yeah,
now. We don't have to wait.
Yeah, for sure.
We need to inspect everything.
Yeah, we'll take a look. We're gonna, I imagine we'll probably have to put a little oil in. I guess that's a thing. After such a long run, might have to top it off a little bit. But overall, I think it went pretty well. 2,200 was a nice, pleasant, you know, tone, which is nice when, you know, an engine that's screaming at you for days at a time is no fun to be around. And this was just kind of a murmur, which is good.
It was loud enough.
It was loud. Sure.
It's still loud.
Food-wise, we did okay. Food-wise, I think we could still do better. Too many snacks, too many carbs. I can't have too many carbs. It was bad. But I don't know how we can do much better.
You did make a space food.
That's true.
That was full of carbs too.
Yeah.
Well, we just need to cook some things. And
I did a can of tuna with a can of garbanzo beans and relish, and that sounded good at first, but it turned out to be really disgusting.
That was pretty good.
So won't do that again. We need to figure this out though, because the food thing I think is really important for stamina.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No seasickness.
No. I got queasy for a while.
I didn't. I actually put a patch on about 6 hours before we left, and a scopolamine, I should say, a scopolamine patch, and I had zero queasiness.
Nice. My queasiness was before the tuna garbanzo special. So anyway, not bad. Good weather. We really got lucky on the weather window. It's just a really easy ride up, I would say.
Yeah, no problems.
Ziggy, he finally ran out of room in his bladder and had a bladder explode. I mean, not explosion, but it was a mess. So let's just put it that way.
Yeah, we need to do some laundry today.
We have a lot of laundry to do.
He just refused to pee on command.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't do it.
It's as if he doesn't understand English, despite how much we talk to him.
I think he knows those commands.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it until his bladder reached a certain level.
Yeah. Anyway, we still feel bad for him, but you know, maybe after a couple of times like that, he'll figure out that it's okay to do what he needs to do. Hopefully in the right place.
That'll be another video.
Yeah.
Next subject.
Yeah. Well, we thought about a diaper for him, but I think that might have been worse. I don't know. Whatever. We'll have to figure this one out still, but I think he's okay. Anyway, that's about it. So next up, we're trying to decide if we're going to how long we're going to stay in Monterey. Probably a day or two. We're okay on this dock for 2 days. So after that, I go to Santa Cruz or Half Moon Bay, or make the whole run back, because we do need to get back at some point. Don't want to rush it though. How long is it to get to all the way back to our home port? Was it like?
I don't know.
It was a long run to do it in one go. So I think we really kind of need to go to Half Moon Bay, which is about, I think that was 18 hours from here. Or was that? No, I'm sorry, 12 hours from Monterey to Half Moon Bay at our speed. ish. And so we'll probably do a day sail to get to Half Moon Bay and then time the final entry to San Francisco Bay after that, just to break it up a little bit, because there's no reason to torture ourselves.
And we need to time the Golden Gate.
Right. Yeah, so the tides of the Golden Gate are nuts, and we definitely want to be going in when the tide's going in. So anyway, that's what we're figuring out next. All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.